I'm Jamil. This is a boy named Jamil. Welcome back to a new video. It's probably no surprise to anybody, but VILTROX did not send me a copy of their new 135 millimeter 1.8, and that's okay. It is a little bit disappointing as someone who does shoot 135 pretty regularly. It's not just an ancillary focal length for me. But you know what? I will continue to, put in my time, in hopes that, soon I'll be part of those initial marketing pushes. But I don't want to talk about the 135 per se so much in this video as much as I have like three sort of thoughts that I want to sort of, put into the space. And so let's get into those fairly quickly. One, I hope that this new lab line of lenses doesn't mean that VILTROX is abandoning the budget market that has sort of helped them to sort of build their name in this market, in this photography market. VILTROX was and is, I'm not privy to any insider knowledge. VILTROX won't return my emails. But VILTROX has been this sort of budget lens lines that, new photographers could count on, right? They released, I think, a budget 50 millimeter that was really, really good. I think they released a budget 85 that was really, really good. The 75 for like APS-C line of Sony E-mount cameras. And then just recently, they released, if I'm not mistaken, like a 16 millimeter. And so they've kind of built their name in this market by being like this budget sort of camera lens company. And I think that because of that, they've been able to sort of find their place in this market. I hope that they don't abandon that market and those customers to sort of, push their way into this sort of like premium lens category. When I think about like this premium lens category, I think of the G Masters, I think of the Sigma Art, I think that's pretty much it. And so I again, not to beat the dead horse, I hope that they're not abandoning that budget market. If they're splitting off, right, and they're gonna now create like this premium line and continue with their budget line, that would be fantastic. I hope that's the plan. And so I think that there still needs to be good budget lenses out there for, the people who need them to be able to continue, this work, this practice that we do. And so I hope that Rokinon's not abandoning that. The second thing is I hope that with this lab line of lenses, that VILTROX would be willing to take a different kind of route than other, budget lens companies. And this is what I mean by that. Sony, has a 50 millimeter 1.4 G Master, and that costs, $1,600 or $1,400. Sigma then comes out with a 50 millimeter 1.4 art lens that might cost $1,100 or $1,200. Sony has a 35 millimeter 1.4. Sigma has a Sigma Art 1.4 35 millimeter, and then it's just a little bit less money. I hope that this is not another just one of those. You know what I mean? $1,800 for a lens is really expensive. For a G Master lens is really expensive. But so is $1,200 or $1,400. I don't know if we need another, lens maker who is just, giving us another 50 millimeter or another 35 millimeter or another 135. Though I hear the 135 is great lens, right? I think that VILTROX has an opportunity to sort of fill the gaps in Sony's lens lineup for some lenses, some focal lengths that I would be really excited about as a street photographer, and I know that other street photographers would be really excited about. 28 1.8, a 40 1.8, a 105 1.8, all of those sort of focal lengths, and then, you know, get crazy. Beat Sony to the 85 1.2. You know what I mean? We need that lens. I need that lens. It would be great to have a lens manufacturer, you know, making those sort of premium focal lengths for, you know, you want to talk about ancillary, 28, 40, you know, 105, lenses designed specifically for, you know, street photographers. The 105, which is a unicorn, by the way, right? Sigma made that, you know, 105 1.4, and it was beautiful lens, beautiful photos, beautiful portrait lens, but it was the same, you know, weight as my car, and it had a lens collar, and the filter thread was like, I think 300 mil, I don't know, it was huge. It was a huge lens. It would be great if you know, VILTROX could make that a more reasonably sized lens for a reasonable amount of money. I think that lens is still like $1,200, something like that. It's very expensive. So I hope that they, you know, sort of change the way, you know, budget lens makers has operated up until now. You know, we have Rokinon, we have Sigma, we have Amaran, we have TT Artisans, we have all of the other, you know, third-party lens makers already making those sort of recognizable focal lengths, the 50s, the 35s, you know, the 24s, all of that. Would be great to have a fast 28 millimeter. It would be great to have a fast 40 millimeter. And I'm speaking selfishly, but I hope that VILTROX might keep that in mind. Beat Sony to that 85 1.2. I would spend money on that. And then the last sort of thing that I would want to, you know, talk to talk to VILTROX and say is, like, you got to figure out how to make the lenses, you know, smaller, more reasonably sized. I guess the 135 is bigger and heavier than the G Master, and that is a surefire way to me that says, you know, budget or third party, right? The money should be in the engineering, not just in the marketing to take money, you know, away from Sony. Again, I don't want to sort of badmouth, you know, what VILTROX is doing. I think having a $900 135 that gets you 85% of what the, you know, G Master gives you is fantastic. And if they can do that with other lenses, again, that's amazing. But I would never buy a lens that's heavier than this already heavy, super heavy 135. I would never buy a lens that's heavier than my already, you know, sort of heavy 50 millimeter. And so I think you have to find a way to get that weight and size down. And then the other thing that just screams budget is if the focusing motors are loud. One of the things that Gerald talked about in his video is that the focusing motor, you could hear him. He put up an example. You can go over there and listen to it. And so you have to find a way to get those focusing motors to be quiet. This one, silent, is how I would describe it. Silent, not quiet, silent. And so I think that, you know, VILTROX has to be able to do that. Those are my thoughts on this lens. I would be super excited if VILTROX reached out to me. VILTROX, holler at your boy. But, you know, those are my thoughts. If you guys have some thoughts, you know, put them down in the comments below. And yeah, my next video, I'll be back shooting, you know, making photos. All right. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.